Okay, we're ready.
Is somebody calling me? Because I'm not going to answer this.
No, not
Okay.
us.
Good.
Okay, are we live, Mark?
Yes, we're live.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, I will play the video.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking, as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on, as well as their video cameras. Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to everybody. To join this meeting and view the meeting, to provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You'll be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address, and you may fill this field with an entry in the email format. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chair, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Upon request, your Zoom video or similar on-camera option will be enabled to allow you to be visible to the board members and other meeting participants while presenting oral testimony. Please turn off your camera after you conclude your testimony. It is the individual testifier's responsibility to ensure they have the video and internet capabilities to successfully stream or remotely testify. The board maintains the authority to remove and block individuals who willfully disrupt or compromise the conduct of this meeting. For phone access, if you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you'll be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chair asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering an asterisk and the number 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering the asterisk and the number 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chair, you may unmute yourself by pressing the asterisk and then the number 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter the asterisk and the number 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access when testifying, you'll be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website. And instructions to attend these virtual board meetings can be found online at the DCCA website. It is now 9:08. I would like to officially call this meeting to order. And with the roll call, please indicate if you are alone. We have Darcy Franco. Darcy Franco.
Darcy, you're muted.
You're muted, Darcy. You need to unmute.
Present and alone if you're present and alone, Darcy.
I'm present and alone.
Okay,
you.
great. Shannon Scoov.
Good morning, I'm here and I'm alone.
Great. And I am here and I'm alone. We also have our EO Sheena Choi and our DAG's attorney, Christopher Leong, and our secretary, Mark Yoshimura. Thank
And
you.
noting that Sean and Jace are excused from this meeting.
Okay. Okie dokie, moving on. First, do we have any guests in the gallery, and if they have any testimony to provide?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone wishing to provide testimony.
Okay, great, thank you. Moving on to approval of the minutes of our November 13 board meeting. I know Darcy wasn't there, so Shannon, any thoughts, any?
Yeah, upon reviewing it and looking at the recording, it all fell in alignment with what I recall from our meeting and watching the recording. So I motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 13th board meeting. Can I get a second?
Yep, I will second. All in favor, Shannon,
Yes.
Olivia's a yes, and Darcy.
Darcy, you can still vote if you feel comfortable, if you looked over the minutes and you feel fine.
I looked over the minutes, but I wasn't there. But it all looked concurrent to me. So
So you can choose to recuse yourself if you want, but if you do, we can't approve the minutes because we're right at quorum for this meeting and we need a
good.
quorum.
Then I approve of the minutes.
Okay, and it's no pressure, it's totally up to you, but thank you for approving.
Well, yeah.
I think maybe a good reminder is if you are not present at the meeting, you can review the recording, correct? Isn't the recording
Yep.
on until the next meeting with the written minutes?
It is, yes.
Maybe just a reminder to our board members, if that is the case, because I know I listened to one of them and it was a coffee hour.
It's different to hear. Yes.
All in favor, moving on in the agenda. If there are no testimonies from the gallery, I motion to go into executive session. Can I get a second?
Oh, sorry, Olivia. So are you still on the minutes or are we on agenda item 3 for the adjudicatory matters?
Yeah, we're moving into, well, we can go. Do we reset? Should I recess now or should I motion to
Yeah,
executive?
yes. Yeah, if there's no public testimony, then we can recess into chapter 91 for adjudicatory matters.
Okay,
Okay.
I second that. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
Shannon.
Doesn't need a second. We can just, the chair can just recess if
Yeah.
she'd like to recess. Okay,
Here we go.
we can.
okay.
Okay, I will be opening the room for an adjudicatory matter.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, Olivia, you're muted.
Moving on. The board recessed to discuss chapter 91 matters, and in both cases, the board has agreed and accepted the settlement agreement by RICO. Okey-dokey. Looks like we have somebody new in the gallery. Do we have any testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone wishing to provide testimony.
Okay, okay, then we can go into, sorry, executive session to discuss the applications. Oh, before we do that, I move to approve the ratification list. Can I get a second?
This is Shannon. I'll second that.
Thank you, Shannon. All in favor, Shannon,
Yes,
Darcy,
you're on mute.
There we go. Yes.
great, and Olivia is a yes, thank you. Okay, if there is no testimony, I'd like to move into executive session. Can I get a second?
Yes.
Huh? Darcy,
Uh,
was that second?
That was me, Darcy. I second that.
Okay, great, thank you. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia.
Okay, we're moving into executive session at 9:40.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie, back in session. In open session, everybody's back. Yay. I don't see Chris.
He just went to open the door.
Oh, oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
There.
All right. Moving on to massage therapy applications. In the matter of Susan Laurie Beal, I move to defer for shortage in education hours, and she can pay.
Oh, Olivia, sorry, you're cutting in and out.
An approved work apprenticeship, go to Susan Laurie Beal. I move to defer her application due to a shortage of education hours, and she can make up those hours through an approved workshop, apprenticeship, an approved school of massage, or a continuing education provider. Can I get a second, please? Oops.
This is Shannon. I'll second that.
Thank you, Shannon. All in favor, Shannon?
Yes.
Darcy?
Yes.
And Olivia is a yes. In the matter of Eva Doland, I move to approve her for examination and deny the test waiver. Can I get a second?
This
I'll
is Shannon.
second
I'll
that.
second.
Sorry, I don't know who came first.
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Okay, Darcy, thank you. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia is a yes. In the matter of Jenny Fuoco, I move to approve her application for examination. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia is a yes. In the matter of Joanna Iris, I move to defer her application pending a shortage in education hours. And she can achieve that or get that through an approved workshop, an apprenticeship, an approved massage school, or a continuing education provider. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Darcy. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia is a yes. In the matter of Jessica Plante, sorry if I mispronounced it. I move to approve her application for examination. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia is a yes. On the matter of Robert Stanchu, I move to approve his application for examination. Can I get a second?
Yes.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, Darcy,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Olivia is a yes. Do we have anyone in the gallery that wants to provide any kind of testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone wishing to provide testimony.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our executive officers report.
Thank you, Olivia. So for agenda item 5A, massage therapy, there's a state exam. So the statistics for November 2024, first time pass percentage is 18.87%, and the total pass was 28.3%. For December 2024, first time pass percentage was 29.41%, and then the total overall pass rate was 43.14%. So that is for the state massage. And thank you again to Olivia and Sean, who are working on continuing to update the exam questions with our exam proctor. Agenda item 5B, continuing education audit. So Randy reported at your last meeting that the board is now on the administrative staff end of things conducting an audit for the continuing education requirements. This is again the first year of the continuing education requirements. I know that the details are still being worked out in the rules package that is currently in the works, but I just wanted to provide an update that we had contacted all the licensees who were randomly audited. I don't even generate the random audit that usually gets asked. It's by our IT department. So a random list of licensees was pulled. They were audited for the CE requirement, and their response was required by December 31st, 2024. So we're currently in the process of following up with the licensees who were audited and were either deficient or did not respond. And I'll continue to provide you with an update once we complete the audit.
Great,
Um,
thank you.
And then the last item, 5C, 2025 legislative session. I provided in your board packet the session calendar. So the legislative session will kick off tomorrow, is opening day, the 15th. So we'll have about a week window for bills to be introduced. On our side, with our legislative coordinator and myself, we're tracking if there's any bills that are related to this board that might require the board's attention, discussion, vote. But I will keep you posted on that. And if there are any bills that come up, I know that you appointed legislative liaisons at the last meeting, so I'll be in touch with them if there's anything needed in between our next board meeting that requires, the board to weigh in. Anything that's a big matter that requires the board's vote, of course, will always be brought before the full board for your opinion. But just an FYI, you can follow along on the calendar if you have any questions, if you want more information on how to testify, things like that, I can provide that to you. There's been some helpful webinars and things from different resources in the community and the government on the legislative process. So if you're ever interested, let me know and I can point you in that direction. But
Great.
that's just an FYI, and then I'm turning it back for 6 ongoing business.
Can I add into 5A? So as far as the state examination statistics, we are still short in their data bank of questions. So Gina from PSI has actually given us an assignment for Sean and I to look into it.
Olivia, sorry, if I might interrupt, I think we might want to talk about that offline. Just for the integrity of the exam.
Okay, because
Taking-
Reese always told me to report back. So
I think
I'm
we
just-
might want to keep it confidential. Just
Okay.
for, yeah.
Okay,
If any board members have questions about that PSI process and the exam bank and things, please email me and I can help point you in the right direction as well.
I did, should we have that report back in executive session? Because I had a question for the board as well. I have two questions.
you want to go into executive session?
Well,
So
I
we can hear, so we could hear your report and for the questions.
think because the agenda item is state examination statistics, I don't know, we can go into executive session for that.
Yeah, is it something maybe we can hold for the next meeting and then maybe we can, put it on the agenda better?
Just because sunshine laws is we have to stick to what's on the agenda, and since it's
On the agenda.
explicitly listed there as examination statistics, we might not have the authority to move into executive session to discuss, since it might appear that it's off
Sure.
apart from the agenda, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. My question was, how do we make the process that we just did more streamlined?
Oh,
Among
mean-
board members,
in terms of
making-
okay, yeah, we can discuss that offline.
Okay, that's fine.
In regards to, am I allowed to bring something that I brought to the table at our last meeting in regards to the audits?
If it's regards to the audits, then yes, because it's continuing education audit update.
Okay. I would like to continue to add to the table the ability to grow in the tech department for the audits with the broker, CE broker system. Many other licenses in Hawaii utilize that. I believe our massage therapy board and audits and all of the licensees would benefit by uploading their CEs. We can audit all and, just ensure that we're all doing everything that's required of this. Many boards across the US utilize this, and I believe it is a free service, and the FSMTB will have more information on it. So as we add this to our regular renewal process, I think having a more streamlined system, less paperwork, sending the letters in the mail, all of this requires a lot of work on administrative staff. I think it would be incredibly beneficial to consider CE broker for massage therapy board. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. So I think
Cool.
in future, if that was considered, the board, I might recommend that the board form like a research group, a permitted interaction group to look into how the tool is used and things like that in terms of confidentiality. I will say for one of my other boards, the engineers, architects, surveyors, and landscape architects, their architects only have a CE requirement, and their professional organization, the AIA, keeps track of their CEs for their members. So one of the things that the board does accept for their CE audit is their AIA transcript. And they had to decide whether or not to accept that. So that could be a consideration in the future.
Well, as far as American Massage Therapy Association is concerned, we do have that function because it is required for professionals to have 48 hours over a period of 4 years. So it is on AMTA, but I can tell you that I would say 15% of all the licensed therapists in the state of Hawaii are AMTA members. So there's a huge chunk. There's a
Mhm.
huge chunk that are with another or other associations. And it's a bigger part of our group of licensees. So
Mhm.
I mean, if we do this, this is a workload that DCCA would take on, correct? Because it would have to be something set up on the state
And
website.
Yeah.
to my knowledge from our last board meeting, it was told to me from another that the CE broker is used by the DCCA. So internally, can we research this? Because if we're already using it across.
Yeah, I'm not aware, but if they are, I can ask around to the other EOs of the different boards and see if any do, and if so, which ones, how they approve. So I can add that to the agenda for the next meeting and report back to you if I have any findings by then.
Okay, and so should we then at that meeting create an ad hoc committee to research this?
Yeah, let me see what I find, and then if needed, then I'll add it to the agenda for the appropriate, it would be probably a permitted interaction group. And I'll explain that process if you're not familiar, to research that further. So I'll add that, I'll make a note for our next agenda.
Okay,
Thank you.
alrighty. Hold on, I'm just making a note of this. Okie dokie. All right, moving on to ongoing business. Do we have testimony from the gallery?
I would like to provide testimony and just some updates of what's going on in our industry, if that's possible.
Okay,
Sorry,
Um,
Shan, is this related to the proposals for
business.
future new rules revisions?
it's involving our requirements, the massage compact and things like that we've been discussing this
Okay,
past year.
thank you.
So 24 states in the United States are now above the 625 education requirement, with many in the works and or just waiting the legislative process, like Colorado, Delaware, and Louisiana, as well as Missouri, Nevada, New Jersey, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Tennessee, all pending. So that's just what's going on in our industry. I just thought board members should know if you're not tracking it on your own. I'm sure you both are. The Massage Compact, there's only 2 states that have legislation enacted. That's Ohio and Nevada. Other states possibly to see this year, just so for our awareness, is Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Oregon, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. The goal, I believe, is to have at least 7 as a minimum. There's only 2. So, and I know we haven't made any solid decisions on where we want to go. We're still waiting it all out, which I think is wise. And just wanted to kind of share some things I've been researching in between board meetings on this topic.
Oh, thank you, Shannon.
Shannon, is there a central resource? Are you getting most of these updates from FSMTB, or is it different sites? Because I'd also like to help track too.
Yes, FSMTB is a really great resource. We do need to get linked in a little bit more if we can reach out to FSMTB. There is a distribution list for communication and updates. It's called In Touch. It's like a newsletter. I believe board members can be a part of it, but I think it has to go through our executive office. So that would be really great if you can plug us into that resource through FSMTB called In Touch.
Yep, I can look into that.
Thank you.
Cool. For the updates, yeah? Great.
Yes.
Because I get updates directly from AMTA's legal department as well.
So that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yes. And then I do have one more item, but this is in regards to a resource called the Establishment Toolkit. So I don't know if it necessarily fits here, but
Establishment
toolkit.
toolkit.
With FSMTB. You mentioned that last time, but we ran out of time for you to expand on it. So
yes.
would that-
Would this fit, or should I wait until we get into a different area of our agenda?
This is last
This
part
would
of
be
our
the
agenda.
only area, yeah, if it's related to potential new amendments to the HAR in the future, you could introduce it now.
Okay, because of my attendance at the FSMTB meeting, I was in the know of this toolkit that was in the works, and it is for human trafficking and illicit business, which us as a massage industry should be it should be our duty to keep it, the integrity of it. Especially here in Hawaii, we have a huge human trafficking issue. Lots of already personal groups that are taking charge of that, and local law enforcement to aid in reducing that and stopping it. And I think that us as a massage therapy board should add it to our agenda and not think it's not happening in our industry, because it absolutely is. So I was in communication with Deborah Persinger. She's been to a board meeting in the past, and I just wanted to reconnect with her because I haven't seen anything on it. I will read the email that she said to me. In regards to the establishment toolkit, the comms department is preparing the toolkit accessible this week. So this was back in November 2024. So this toolkit should be accessible at this time. I believe it will be sent to board staff to distribute to relevant parties. It will not be publicly available, so not to get in the hands of perpetrators. I know there's a big human trafficking problem in Hawaii, everywhere, actually, and I'm glad the toolkit will be useful for your inspectors and law enforcement. And then going into the communication updates. The big part in it is this template letter that they have created that goes to landlords describing the penalties of owning a building where there's illicit massage. Practices that have been shared at the FSMTB meeting. Once they sent those letters, they saw many illicit businesses shut down. And I would love to do this. It's a letter. It costs 50 cents to mail it out, and I think it would make a huge impact in the protection of human trafficking, not only in our industry but in the state of Hawaii.
Thank you, Shannon.
Actually, first rate postage now is 69 cents.
Okay.
And it's
I
going
think
up.
it's worth the 69 cents for this work of protection.
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. That's a really important topic. I think the department is restricted because the boards can't send out mail. However, I would suggest and I'll look into, because I haven't seen that we've received that board staff email regarding the toolkit and that specific thing that Deborah was mentioning. So I'll check in with SF sorry, the acronym
FSMTB.
MTV. I'll check with them and ask them to resend it if it is available, and then I'll provide it to the board members. So you can see that as a reference with regards to getting information to the public. I can take what's publicly available that they were sending out to the landlords and put it as an announcement on the board's website, and then perhaps then we can, notify if there's any local associations or groups. They can maybe send our official announcement on the website out to their members, and that is a way to distribute it where it's not coming directly from the board.
I think all of those ideas are amazing. And if you need direct contact with Deborah, please reach out to me. I'm happy to provide that.
Yeah, that would be great. If you could email me,
Yes.
that would connect. Thank you.
Great, that's awesome. That said, it's 11:52, and we always get to this point when we get to this point. Anyway, so looking at the administrative rules, we're continuing our update. So I just want to double check because I'm looking at my notes. So I'm using the copy that was submitted for the public hearing on November 13th, moving forward.
Okay. Should we
So
turn? to
are
that
we
page?
all on the same page?
Well, we got to get to those notes. Let me find that.
So
Was
you
that
should have
included
gotten
in
it
the
with the,
packet?
you should have gotten it with the November 13th packet.
Thank you, Lorraine.
And it was, yeah. Actually, it's the same draft from the July 2nd, 2024 meeting. It's exactly the same. I compared the two.
Drop it in. Do we have it? Can we drop it in the current?
Can you do what?
I'm just asking Mark if we have it and can drop it into the current folder. Sorry, I wasn't aware that we were gonna reference it. I didn't put it in the packet.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that would help me to have it in there too.
You
Unless
can
I
look
find
at
it.
July 2nd, 2024 documentation. It's in there. You can download it and print it. It's the exact same
That's the one
thing.
I have in front of me.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Um,
what I wanted to do was just to reconfirm. I know Sean's not here and Jace is not here, but they've been present with the last meetings where these were assigned. Do you know which subsections you are assigned to? I just want to confirm that. So we can continue offline
Add that to
between
the
meetings
packet.
to work on this.
Yeah. I can also email you guys the current copy as well. Sorry, I just realized that we can't add things to the packet because we upload a public packet that needs to be available to the public. But after the meeting, I can email you the current rules draft so everyone is on the same page with what is being referenced.
Oh, good.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
yes, and
So-
I
a
wasn't at the
few-
last two meetings.
Yeah, so here's the assignments. Subchapter 1 is Olivia. Subchapter 2 is Jace. Subchapter 3 and subchapter 4 is Darcy. Subchapter 5, we did not assign, it's the revocation, so we did not touch that. Subchapter 6 is Olivia. Subchapter 7 is Shannon. 9 and 10, we did not touch. Subchapter 11 is Sean. Subchapter 12 was Olivia. And subchapter 13, we just did that. So I don't know if someone else wants to look at it.
I can look at it. I have, I still will be happy to continue to review the examination. I also added testing conduct to that. I turned that in probably like 6 board meetings ago, possibly. If no one got to review it, I'm happy to send it in again. so everyone can review that. And then I'll go move on to can you give me the subchapter again you would like me to work on, Olivia?
13?
13, continue education, you got it.
Yeah, we just did that. So what you submitted, I did scan it. I didn't read it completely because we never got to it. So was that under subchapter 7 on examination requirements?
Correct.
Okay,
Shannon, and if you have that in a digital form, if you can email it to me and then I'll include it in the next packet too, so everyone has another copy.
You got it. Well, that aligns nicely because we were talking about the CEs earlier with the broker, so I think that's a good topic for me to go into next.
okay, great. Darcy, you okay with your assignment?
I'm trying to find the document, so I don't know.
So this
I imagine
is
so. I imagine so.
administrative
I got two.
um,
How lucky am I?
to what?
Subchapter 3 and subchapter 4. Most everybody got one.
I have 3.
You have
You want one
3.
more? You want one more? I can give you
No.
one more. Not a
That's
problem.
sweet.
So can we all commit by next board meeting to have something to present, because we've been assigned this for quite some time, and not
Have-
to, but I'm the
I
only one
have-
that's something in.
I have information to present, but we're always here, Shannon.
Yeah.
10 minutes left.
Oh, if we
5 minutes left. So that's why I was asking for additional meetings, but I know that staffing is an issue and
And we're not allowed to create a committee to do this.
But you could actually create a rules pick. I have 2 going in my other assignments. It's just would be capped at less than quorum, so
Right.
it would be 2,
Two.
2.
Yeah.
And they can't correspond with the other board members about it.
Correct. We've done that from 2016, Shannon. We submitted a draft. We're here in 2024.
And I'll
it-
try and send a reminder. Maybe that might help for the next meeting. And we'll see what's on the agenda. Maybe we can push ongoing business up. So it's a little earlier in the agenda, so there might be more time. I'll look at how maybe we can facilitate that. And we shouldn't have as many applications, hopefully, at the next meeting. There was just a bit of a backlog given, all the transitions that have been happening recently.
Sure.
So just
Should we set a deadline that we have to turn these into, so it's included in the board packet?
So just to clarify, to rewind a little bit, you're looking for when you assign this, you're looking for my feedback, you're looking for my questions, comments, concerns, updates.
Revisions,
Uh-huh.
revisions and additions.
Revisions, because 1684 is antiquated. So for instance, in advertising, we need to accommodate for social media and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. That's not in our rules yet. So that's just,
Well, so if we're talking, I mean, it's 12:01. It is antiquated, and some of the things that were tried to be pushed through before were not pertaining to, advertising, like images only of the hands, but then it's not enforceable, and it's, there's so I would definitely take advertising as one of them. Which subchapter is that?
what? I'm sorry.
Advertising is subchapter 11. It looks like that was
Okay.
assigned to Sean.
Yeah.
I'd
But
love to.
just for the sake of time, I know that we're trying to get things moving on this specific assignment for you folks. So I will try to prepare the packets. It would be nice at least 2 weeks in advance of the board meeting, to get any reports from board members so I can prepare it, format it, and provide it in the board packet. So I'll send out a reminder, ask for that report. And, I know that you all have busy schedules, so I would suggest maybe at minimum that you come with questions and suggestions. If you're unfamiliar with how to reformat for revisions, then I can help with that when I see your questions and comments.
What's that format called again? Richard or
Ramsair format.
Ramsair, thank you.
And I can provide the resource book for the formatting. If you would like to get into that, that would be fantastic.
No, I don't want to do the formatting.
don't-
I would
but
just
don't
like to
worry,
give you
formatting
the
on mine.
substance. I would just like to give you substance and the legal department do the formatting.
So
Sorry,
however you'd like
otherwise-
to, I'll provide it for those who want to go deeper in it. If not, don't worry about it. The substance is the most important. So I'll send a reminder about that, and then I'll include everybody in an email.
Okay, and then my one final question. What's the deadline in this legislative and legislative session to get our next packet in for review?
So the rules don't go through the legislative process, only the statutes. So your HRS 462, which the board is not involved in changing the statute, that has to go through like an external stakeholder. For our rules package, the one that recently had the public hearing, now
Packaging
it's-
hearings, thank you.
oh yeah.
Yeah, when is that deadline?
So there's no deadline, but we do have to get the current one through the whole process before you can introduce new things. If you want to introduce new things, it would restart the current one all over again. So we'll get the current one through all the way through. And then a new rules package, which is the things that you're discussing, which I'm assuming is also including what was reported in like consideration of increasing hours, different things for the social, cultural matters that are going on locally. All those considerations will go into a separate package. It's kind of lengthy. It's pretty lengthy, not kind of. It's a very lengthy process.
Okay, so there's no deadline on that.
There's
We're
no
already
deadline.
cooking on that area, and we're gonna,
Yes.
as that one passes, we can already have this one ready to
Yep.
go, hopefully.
Mhm.
Because I would
And
love
that's-
to make Olivia very happy and get this going. And I'm a cheetah. I'm right there with you. I get a little frustrated in the board meetings because how slow it is and how long we have to wait and to come in between, and then that there's just not a lot of movement. And I know as regulators, but also as movement makers, making things happen is really important to me. And so I want us to come to these board meetings prepared to make decisions and to make motions and make it happen.
Yes, I agree. The other thing too is, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So we're starting at the same line. So that's why I'm checking to make sure we all have the same copy and we're working off of the same copy and not have a different copy so that we can move forward. So that's what I'm trying to establish here before we adjourn our meeting.
And I'll send that.
Great. Thanks, Sheena. And I
I'll send that
repeated
copy.
the assignments so we know what our assignments are because just want to
Be accountable, board members. Let's be accountable. Let's do it.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I'll send a recap email. I'll do the current draft that everyone should be working off of, a recap of the assignments, and then the other items that we had discussed with regards to this agenda item.
Thank you, Sheena. That's awesome.
All right, I have to get going. I have another
All
meeting.
right, we have, so it is now 12:05. We don't have to call adjournment, right, Chris?
No, it's just adjourn, meeting adjourn. That's all you have to do.
All
Say
right.
it. You're
meeting adjourned.
adjourned.
Thank you.
12:05.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a
Bye.
wonderful